Yo, what's going on? Your boy Ghost here. Today I am bringing you guys another comparison video between the XM4 and Bullfrog. And I wanted to make this video because both of these weapons are considered to be the top secondaries in the game at the moment, with the Bullfrog being the #1 SMG and the XM4 being, I guess, the #1 alternative to an SMG. And what I mean by alternative, I'm talking like the ARs, the shotguns, or whatever other gun that's used as a secondary that is not an SMG, which has been, on the rise ever since the FFAR was in meta. People were trying to find other weapons similar to it. Like we had the Groza, the Farah, and now the XM4. It's been a very interesting times in the Warzone secondary, I guess, landscape. But yeah, before we get into that, I want to say if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2K. We just hit 1.68K, so I am very thankful for that. And also, it's a little something that's not related to the video, but your boy is officially a high school graduate. I guess on the day of this video going up, which is Monday, I've graduated high school, which is crazy to think about. But that just means the grind is gonna, it's gonna get started. So we got big plans for the future. In the beginning, well, it starts now. Yeah, man. That being said, let's get into the comparison. And here we have the recoil pattern for the XM4, which you can see, it's nothing extremely crazy, but it does tend to go to the right once the pattern develops. But however, when you put on your attachments and whatnot, this gun doesn't have that much recoil. I wouldn't say it's like the most non-recoil weapon out there. It's not on the M13's level, obviously, but it's nothing too crazy. Very, very manageable, very controllable. But as you guys saw with my class setup, I think one of the most interesting points in that class is the fact that I'm using a sight on the XM4. Well, to be honest, I don't think it's that interesting because I think there's only, like, right now at the moment, 2 dominant class setups for the XM4. Again, though, those aren't the only 2 that you can use, but they're the most popular ones that I've been seeing lately. So it's the one that I'm using, and then the other one is, instead of the sight, you use the Tiger Team Spotlight and the 60-round mag instead of the 45-round mag. But the one thing, or the reason I switched from that class setup to this one, because I used to use that Tiger Team one without the sight, but the reason I switched to it is because of the Raider stock. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with the Raider stock. If you've been following me for a little bit, you would know that the Raider stock and me kind of get along because, at one point I had praise for it, and then I said I didn't like it, but then I went back to it, and now again I'm kind of on the iffy side on it. But I'm still using it, as you guys saw in my class setup. However, it's prompted me to use a sight now so I can feel more efficient in gunfights, because sometimes that strafe with the Raider stock gets me killed because it just feels uncontrollable. And maybe some other people share that similar feeling, but you guys, don't use the Raider stock. I do, because with the AR, I need to make it, if I'm going to use it as a secondary or as a close range weapon, I need it to be pretty quick. That's where the Tiger Team Spotlight came in, but I don't use it, obviously. I use the sight. And I guess that's what prompts all these changes. So if I'm not using the Tiger Team and I'm using the sight, that's what makes me go to a 45-round mag, because with the 60, it's a little bit slower. And, I need to have that fast ADS when I'm in close range combat. But I've been enjoying my class setup. I think both class setups that I mentioned are very, very efficient. Obviously, there could be other builds that you can try that makes it great, and it will work. You know what I'm saying? The 2 that I told you aren't the only ones that you can use. They're just the most popular ones that I've seen. But one of the things that actually makes the XM4 interesting, hopefully assuming this is still a relevant fact, and that is the Vex Lord variant. I remember at some point, I actually didn't look into it too much, but I saw that the Vex Lord variant was being talked about because it gave better stats than the base XM4. And that's what made everyone start using this specific variant on the XM4. And what's crazy is that it's an actual free variant in the Battle Pass. But that was like at the beginning of Season 3. I didn't see anyone really mentioning it. I never saw patch notes addressing it. And I don't really know where that stands at. The gun itself feels amazing. Compared to a normal XM4, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like a big difference. If you remember, the MAC-10 had a variant called the Gallantry, where the difference between both of them were insane. The XM4 and the Vex Lord, I'm not really entirely sure where that difference comes in. And I don't even know if that change still applies today. Maybe it's, I'm still using it. I mean, hell, if there's no change, the gun still feels amazing. And it's made it be a top 2, top 3 secondary in the game, depending on who you ask. In my opinion, I think I would put it at number 2 or even number 1. It really just depends on how I feel. But the top 3 would be made up of like the LC10, Bullfrog, and XM4. On any given day, that like order between all 3 of those weapons could change for me on any given day. Yeah, man. With that being said, let's get into the Bullfrog. And here we have the recoil pattern for the Bullfrog, which, interestingly enough, it seems like an alternate version of the XM4. I feel like it's a little bit more straightforward because it just starts going left. But again, just with the XM4, when you put on your attachments and whatnot, it's not that crazy. Like the recoil is non-existent, almost like a M13 and SMG version. It really has no recoil. Yeah, man, this Bullfrog, again, like I mentioned in my last comparison video, which is literally the video before this, this is one of those weapons that has just rapidly increased the ranks of Warzone usage or just Warzone meta over the past like month. You know, I remember this gonna be the underrated weapon that was good to now being one of the weapons that is the best and everyone uses it. If it's not the XM4, I feel like it's the Bullfrog, like straight up. Those are like the, or even I guess maybe the AK-47. I gotta give some love to AK-47. I know some people are still out there using that gun, but I don't know. Just the Bullfrog has, in my opinion, in terms of secondary, become like the face of it. Although the XM4, in my opinion, might be slightly better for some reasons that I'll explain in a second, I see the Bullfrog being used the most right now between just everybody, streamers, people I play against, people I play with, and myself included. But at the end of the day, man, the Bullfrog is an SMG and the XM4 is an AR. So one of the, I guess, the biggest advantages that the XM4 has over the Bullfrog is the fact that it's an AR and it has AR damage, and it is able to compete with SMGs at close range. Now, it's not a FARA and it's not a FFAR. Like, the FFAR will forever be the king of, I guess, hybrid or of an AR being an SMG, and we all knew how that meta was. It was, now, I guess it was fun in some aspects, but the fact that AR like that was outgunning SMGs like it was nothing was crazy. And I think the XM4 has like a nice balance where it's really good because, you know, it has the AR damage and great mobility, especially for an AR. But it's not like invincible. It's not like a Bullfrog can't gun it or an LC10 can't gun it or a PPSH can't gun it. Like, it's very beatable. And trust me, I've been outgunned multiple times even with my XM4 in hand. Like, it's not invincible. It's not this just untouchable weapon that surpasses way above these other ones, because that's just not true. I think that the XM4 is, I guess, the perfect balance for an AR being an SMG, and I'm glad that it's good, because I actually ended up calling this a long time ago. And one of my comparisons, I said that the XM4 could be meta after the FAR, and I was right. Because I can tell the future. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Also, one of the other things that I like about the XM4 is the range. I'm a very big guy on range when my secondaries. Like, I literally, if my SMG can't gun at mid-range, I probably won't use it because I just love having that mid-range aspect of my SMGs. Like, I'm telling you, I would literally challenge ARs with my SMG. Just, I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with my head, but I literally challenge ARs with my SMG at range because I don't know. Like, I just feel like I could gun them. And that's what I like about the LC10. That's what I like about the MP7 back in the day. That's what I like about the Bullfrog. You know, I like the weapons, SMG specifically, that can do it at range. Those what make me, have a lot of fun. And the XM4, it gives me that range because it's an AR. But I can use it at close range like it's an SMG. That's what makes it pretty great. But again, it's not completely overpowered to the point where, it's broken and people just need it to be changed. It's really not. Very fun. And also, another thing is, like, both of these weapons, the Bullfrog and XM4, are very great sniper pairings, I guess that's what I would call it. Ever since the FFAR, I feel like trying to use a gun with that sniper has been kind of weird. Like, the FFAR was like that solidified sniper, support. It was what everyone used, everyone loved running with it. Right now, I feel like the whole sniper support, ever since the FFAR got nerfed, has been kind of like up in the air. Like, I really, there's been so much confusion, including with myself. Like, when I started using the sniper, I'm like, what gun do I even run with it? Like, and I don't know. I've always leaned towards the XM4. I think the Bullfrog's a great alternative as well. They're both very capable of doing what a sniper support should be doing. So if you're not running those, or if you're having trouble finding the sniper support, I would definitely recommend either the XM4 or Bullfrog. There's still other options out there. I just think that at the top would be these two weapons. So give it a try. And again, man, what can I say? If you're not using XM4 and Bullfrog right now, I'm not saying this. Yeah, I guess the meta is widespread right now, but if you haven't used them yet, I would give them a try. I highly doubt that 95%, like I feel like 95% of people that are gonna watch this video have tried both of these guns in SMG form or whatever form that they've used them. Yeah, man. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about both the Bullfrog and XM4. Where would you guys rate them in your own personal secondary rankings? Because again, I think these are like the top 3, including the LC10 at that, you know, top 3 secondaries. But you guys might have a different list. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'm out. Peace.